Okay, good morning and welcome to this week's edition of NCompass Live. I am your host, Krista Burns, here at the Nebraska Library Commission. NCompass Live is the Library Commission's weekly online event where we cover anything that may be of interest to librarians across the state and across the country. We do these sessions every Wednesday morning live at 10 a.m. Central Time, but they are recorded, so if you're unable to attend any of our live sessions, you can always go back and watch all the recordings we have of all of our previously done shows. And we do all sorts of things here on the show, anything that, as I said, that could be of interest, presentations, interviews, mini training sessions, whatever. And we do have commission staff that do sessions, and we have guest speakers, as we have this morning, from up in Omaha on the line with us, Joyce and Emily. You guys say hello?
Good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, I will just hand over so you guys can introduce yourself and what your presentation is, and go ahead and take it away.
Okay. Again, thanks to everyone for joining us, and please feel free to ask questions as we go through at any time, and thanks to Krista for monitoring that for us. I am Joyce Neujahr, and I am Director of Patron Services here at Criss Library, University of Nebraska, Omaha.
I'm Emily Keston. I'm a reference associate, but when we first started, Emily McIllece, just got married. I'm a reference associate here, but when I first started this project with Joyce, I was working in circulation.
Right. So what started us on this journey, as I tried to change my slide, there we go. Both Emily and I are part of gathering statistics and then reporting back in different ways. And one of the things we encountered often was those statistics that we needed for whatever report we needed to make were in different places, different platforms, and generally in a pretty big mess, unorganized, hard to find, and we both felt like there has to be a better way. I think that happens in life often when you're doing something, there's just got to be another way. So we're not wasting all this time in the beginning of our report trying to gather those pieces of data that we're looking for. So we started thinking, okay, let's start looking for that. What is it that we need? What kind of software or program are we going to be looking for? What are the things we really want this to be able to do? So you can see some of those things we thought about. Free is always good. Your boss likes that when you don't come and say, I need some money to do this. So free was good, easy to implement. It was really important to us for it to be sustainable in more ways than one, but particularly that different people in each of the library departments would be able to enter their own data. So we weren't the ones always being the gatherer, and we've accomplished that. We were looking for something adaptable and easily changed as time goes on. We all know technology advances and changes very quickly these days, so being able to move with where everyone's headed was really important. And then the need that we wanted to be able to do internal reports quicker and easier, external reports also, and we envisioned that this would be a good way to also connect to the campus community, our wider community, demonstrating our value and basically that advocacy thing.
All right. Let me know if I don't speak loud enough. I feel like I'm shouting at the moment, but my voice also tends to get pretty soft, so shout out at any time. I was kind of charged with trying to figure this out, and so I started first looking at library literature because we already had the term dashboard in our head, information dashboard, also known as business intelligence dashboard. And I first looked at library literature, but there really wasn't that much there. It was talked about, but it didn't really go into detail or give me very many leads. So then I started, well, Googling and looking at business software, business intelligence software, and I actually started doing a lot of trials with the software out there just to test it out, see if it would work. And the problem with it was really expensive, or I couldn't get a quote, which, you know, is usually a clue that we can't afford it. But then also, since we have library information scattered so many places, like we've got Iliad, we have our desk tracker for the reference desk, we have both handwritten statistics at circulation and the ones produced by III. And so we can't have one software that can grab all that information from all these different programs. So we are kind of stuck there too. It wasn't just price, it was just there isn't a software that can do all of this for us in one nice, easy, fell swoop. There were some cheap and free possibilities out there, but usually it would only let me display a graphic on one page. So it'd just be like flipping through a page at a time of graphics, which isn't a dashboard and doesn't really do us any good. And so what we chose, and it was kind of funny, it was after several weeks of searching and experimenting, and it was just kind of one of those oh duh moments. I started playing with Google Sites and Google Docs, and it just started to make sense. It's free, it's pretty easy to use, it's kind of a what you see is what you get interface, so you don't have to use any coding, it's very drag and drop. And the Google Docs has tables and graphs and spreadsheets that works almost on par with Excel, but not as interconnected and as fancy, but it gets the job done for us. And it's also accessible from anywhere as long as you have the login information. Anyone with the login information can get into it. Say you're on the go doing a presentation and you need to update some statistics right before you do the presentation, you can do that. So that was nice. It updates in real time, and we also get the choice of who can see the information and who can edit the information, so we have a lot of flexibility and security. We're going to show you in a minute, but I'm going to kind of explain the suite of tools we have. We're using Google Sites. That is where the dashboard is at. It's actually a website that we just kind of designed like a dashboard, so I don't think it's an official dashboard in the typical term used these days. We can use Excel documents and Google Docs, and you can even upload the Excel documents into Google Docs if you want to manipulate things that way. You can upload, download, so it's pretty easy to back up, and you can sorry, I just lost my train of thought. But basically what has happened is we've moved from having statistics scattered over different hard drives in different web reporters. Now we have them all in one spot, so even though you still have those statistics elsewhere, if you want to do a report, you can just go to the dashboard and get the information you need right away. So we're going to show the dashboard to you. How do I get out? Okay, actually I'm going to go to the overview page first. So we didn't get too fancy with this. I chose a template that Google provides, and I just kind of did the red color scheme for UNO, and then I just put the same banner up here. This is the same banner we have on our website, so even though I'm using a Google template, I still keep the branding of the library. And this is our overview page where I just put 4 overview statistics of the library. So if you just want to see a quick trend, you can. But how we set it up, every department gets its own page or several pages because we have a lot of different information, different statistics. Just, you know, having 4 squares wasn't going to be enough, so everybody gets their own page to kind of do what they want with it. And those are over here. The really nice thing about Google Sites and Google Docs is when you create a graph like these in Google Docs, they'll update in real time on the Google Sites. So if I just want to enter in July gate counts, I just do that in the spreadsheet, and then it updates here so I don't have to re-update the image. And if you want it bigger, you just click on it. It can go make it bigger, but most of the time actually have it linked to go into the spreadsheet, which I'll show you on another page. And then that way you can get the raw data to, if you want to dig deeper into it. So let me, sorry, I'm using the wrong hand here, so please don't mind my cursor.
Are there any questions while we're moving around on the page? Anybody that had a question they wanted to ask?
Feel free to type in anything that you have. This page here, because I just looked it up and edited, this is publicly available for anyone to go and see what kind of things you guys are doing, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because I looked it up and added it to our delicious links.
Right. Right.
Yep, and how we have it set up right now, we have it at the most open level, so anybody can view any of these pages. They can't change the pages. You have to have the login for that.
Of course, yes.
But you can also set it, you can have individual pages or individual documents that you have to have a password for. You can either give somebody, you can say a person with this email can access the page, or a person with this link can access the page, or they have to be logged in on this site to be able to do anything or see it. So you can actually have private pages. Say you wanted to put your budget up there, but you didn't want the world to know your budget. You can do that. But right now, everything's open. We don't have our budget stuff up here. I heard the laugh.
Yeah,
but what I have here is links going into the actual spreadsheets. So that's when you can dig in if you wanted the raw data. This one isn't as complex as some of the other ones, but anytime you would change the information in here, it'll change the graph here, and then that'll change the graph on the website. So it's just kind of one step, has a cascade effect, which is really nice. All right.
I'll add that we had a practicum student, Megan Klein-Hewitt, over the summer, and she, one of her tasks was to look at the possibility of creating infographics for us on this page, which is what Emily's showing you here. And they're, the nice thing about infographics is kind of what it says. You can present the data in a different way. So for instance here, this is still the gate count, but the key tells you the years. It's presented in a different way, and maybe you can see some points that you want to point out or to draw attention to when you present it in a different way like this. The nice one is over here, down here. Did we lose our, okay. So for instance, what's nice about this pie chart, let me show you the key. So for 2010, 2011, these are checkouts by our patron group. Black is the undergraduate. So now you can go to, if we go back a year, the pie changes as we click on those dates. And you can see really quickly and easily the differences that happen on a year-to-year basis. And you can set this up hour by hour, or you choose your own parameters. And the site that Megan used was actually a free site also. There are many of those out there, but we can give you further information if you're interested in this particular one. It may actually be at the bottom. I think it's called, yes, Infogram. There's a dot in there. Again, you'll have all these slides, and the site is open, so you can go see these on your own. So she did a really nice job with finding the infographics, creating them in our statistics in a different way. All of that's located over here. So it'll show you infographics for some of our statistics. Okay, Emily.
Okay. For the most part, I've used Google Docs exclusively to make the graphics and put the information in. But every now and then I will still use Excel to create a chart, and this is just because I get the option as here, putting the numbers up here. You don't get as much flexibility with your Google Charts. You can choose the colors and of course edit your keys and everything, but it's not quite as flexible. They do have some dynamic charts, but we've kept it mostly simple because we just want to get that information without all the pizzazz. So what my cursor is wiggling over here is just an Excel chart that I made, and then I just uploaded it like an image on the site. If I click on it, it'll link over to the Google spreadsheet with the information. So for the most part, it's all Google, except for every now and then I'll throw some Excel in there, and it's pretty easy to do. I just use Jing to screen capture it and upload it. So I'm just going to scroll through a little bit here. You won't see it because I shrank these images down, but when you do create a Google chart, when you're using the interactive chart, which is the standard instead of the image of it, it'll give you the number readings on here, but for some reason, and this confuses me on why Google does it, they'll give you the script for the interactive chart, but when you try to place it in here, it usually get error messages. So I just do the image of the chart, which Google will just give you a code for that, which I will show you very shortly. Just go here. And so, as you can see, the public can go into our data if they want, but they can't change the data. They'd have to be signed in to change the data. And I'm going to sign in just really quickly so you can see a little bit how this works.
Have you got any questions that we can't see while we're doing this, Krista?
Not at the moment. If anyone does have any questions about what they're doing here, how they're using the Google Docs and Stats page, feel free and type them into your question section. I know a few people have come in after we started. So if you have any questions, type them into your question section. They'll take them throughout. If you have a microphone, just let me know that, and I will unmute you, and you can use your microphone to ask your questions. But nothing at the moment.
Okay.
So
okay.
All right, so I'm in a spreadsheet. I created easy peasy, and this was just getting read statistics from our site tracker, which we no longer have because they went away. And that's the nice thing we're starting to discover. We use so much free stuff a lot of the times, or at least fairly cheap stuff to track things, and then they go away, and then they'll take the statistics with them. Well, here we have it all compiled, and we assume Google's not going away for a long time, so this is kind of our longevity plan. And of course I always download and back up, so we'll still always have them. But I just highlight what I want to create, the chart, and then I just go up to Insert, Chart. And then it gives you all these different options for creating the chart. You can switch the rows if need be. You can customize to get your colors and renaming things. So it's very easy. You don't have to be an expert. But if I wanted to post this on the web page, come on, there we go. I could say Publish Chart. And this would be the interactive script code. But since I find I have more troubles with that than it's worth, I'll just copy the URL for the image, and then oh shoot, I should have had multiple tabs open, I'm sorry. But then it's the same way. If you're on the web page and you're in edit mode, it's going to look very similar to this. And up in the menu here, you'd have Insert Image, and then you just copy the URL into the little bar for the image, and then it displays, and you can make it large, small. You can make it a link into the page or a link to another page if you want. So it's pretty easy. I do recommend having multiple tabs open. And the only problem I've really had with it as far as functional stuff is Internet Explorer sometimes argues with Google, and so I just avoid Internet Explorer when I'm using it. I'll do Mozilla or Chrome. Haven't had any problems with those. And of course, if I change anything in here, it changes right away, and it would change on the website. But let me put that back before I forget what the real value was. And then just Control S to save. If, say, this was locked down, or I wanted to share it with somebody and didn't want to send them the whole website, there you go. You just hit share, and you can say, this is where you change your permissions. I'll let you look at that for a moment. You do not check this. I'm the owner, but I could also make somebody else the owner if I wanted. I can add people by their email addresses. Since it's Google, I could enter a name, and it would probably search my contacts for the name. But what account this is just we created the account, and then if somebody wants to put information into the dashboard, they just use the login and the password. We have it posted on our wiki, so really anyone can get in there if they want. We haven't had any problems with anybody going in and messing with stuff because we're all busy. We have better things to do than to mess with statistics. So yeah, it's worked out pretty well. Any questions on that? Is there anything somebody wants to see me do with it? Whether on the
yes, if anybody wants to have her look at something else in particular, click on something, show you how something works, just go ahead and ask in the questions section of your GoToWebinar interface. And let's see, John Felton from here at the Library Commission wants to see real-time pie chart change.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me go back in. Oops.
Did he want to see the infographic one again, or the one that that Emily makes on this page?
Waiting to see if he's typing anything.
Okay.
Do you have a preference, John? Actually, it's Catherine Bruckmeyer from here, the Commission, actually wants to see how you create one.
Okay.
Okay.
She likes the pie chart deal, I guess, yeah.
Back into one of the charts. Let's just go here. All right. The pie chart we have here, this is another Excel one, and this was just me wanting the labels in there, but we can certainly show how that goes. So insert chart. And they don't have a lot of choices on the pie chart. This is kind of what you get. They're more dynamic charts that I haven't messed too much with. Has a few more options, but because it doesn't really fit our needs, we don't worry about it. So we'll say, sure, we want this one. If you wanted to switch rows, you could, but if it won't work with the chart, you get this message saying that doesn't work. But you can go to customize, and then this is where you start changing. Whoops, excuse my typing.
So Emily, did you create this? Is this the statistics that you're pulling this from? Was it a Google chart, Google spreadsheet, or
Yeah.
did you create it in Excel first and then?
Oh, this is a Google spreadsheet. The pie chart that's back here, I just copy and pasted what was in the Google spreadsheet into Excel just so I could create the chart that had the labels within the pie slices. And that was just a personal preference. I do have other pie charts that will be directly from the Google Docs. It's just kind of, I like to experiment and play with what way I like better.
There's more than one way to do things, as we so often find, and from my viewpoint, I've played with it too, but I'm not near as experienced as Emily is, so more than once I've had to ask her, now how did you do that again? So I want everyone that's watching or may view the slides or listen to this later, feel free to contact either Emily or I, and we can walk you through something you might be interested in.
What I'm doing down here is I'm just changing the slice colors for kicks and giggles, just to show you how that goes. I'm just going to insert the chart real quick. And I'm just got to keep my values in mind. So if you wanted to change the value, say, oh, we suddenly got nailed with phone reference questions, you just change the value, and then it changes on the chart. So pretty easy peasy. So as you see, it's changing, and if it's live on the website, it'll change on the website too. Oh God, what was that number?
Just do undo. Is that answering Catherine's question?
Let's see. Is that what you're looking for, Catherine? But they do have another question here. How to do the web interactive from year to year with the year tabs? Does that make sense?
Oh, the infographic.
The infographic, I think. Okay.
Let me get you back.
I think that's kind of fun to see. So we were in the circulation infographics. And again, this was pulled from another website that's free. I'll show you it is called infogr.am. It is free, and it's you create infographics, which is...
Welcome to GoToWebinar, web events made easy.
Making the dashboard we already had to get the info.
So she pulled I think she used an Excel spreadsheet to put that data in and put that data into this software program, and then followed their instructions basically to create the pie chart. Since she did it, I don't know exactly where to go to show you. I didn't create this one, she did, but she said it's fairly user-friendly. It isn't a lot of choices for the colors and customizing of that piece, but the main point is being able to show these statistics in a different way visually that sometimes has things jump out at you a lot easier than just looking at, well, for sure the numbers, but even just a line graph or a bar chart, being able to manipulate them and actually watch those sections change is really helpful when you start looking at the statistics. Does that answer that question? And again, we'll give Krista, when we're done, I will send the slides to you, but I will also include the link to this program.
Oh, the infogram?
Yeah, and I would add that there's more than Infogram out there. There are a lot of free products out. Just Google infographics and you will get back a lot of options to start looking at.
She says yes, as far as that, I guess, answering her question.
Yes.
I found the one you use, the Infogram with a dot in there website, so I'm going to add it to the delicious links that will come with the recording when it goes up, yeah.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Okay, so back to Emily. Anything else to show us, or are we ready to go back to the PowerPoint?
It's up to them if they want to see anything else. I'll just add, like, the Google Sites and the Google Docs, it's all in the same Google account. So you don't see right now because I'm not logged in on the website, but basically once you get logged in, you can jump around between the sites and the documents, and of course the email, which we don't really bother with the email account. But it is nice, you get that suite of tools, and yes, we know Google is watching everything we do, but since we don't have anything really sensitive up there, it doesn't bother us, and we do back up. So if they ever decided, no, we're going to charge you $50 a month for it, we're not lost. We still have the data. It's not a problem.
Right. There's not any private patron information here. It's just the numbers.
Yes.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
If you want to put any And like the most sensitive thing is on the instructors. We have our last names up there on statistics, but you know, we're kind of private people, or not private, we're kind of public figures anyway, so it doesn't bother us.
Now, for patron information, the only thing we have are would be identifiers such as undergraduate or graduate faculty. We have some interlibrary loan statistics based on departments, but there are no names attached. Yeah. That's a. Right. I don't know if someone asked that question or if you did, Krista.
No, it was just me. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's an important consideration to keep in mind when you start creating a dashboard for yourself. That and additionally, we could create a page that's private that only we could see, and it wouldn't be out there. But we have no intention of using anything that would expose anything that's personal information. So.
I just want to draw your attention down here real quick. The nice thing about this is I have the academic instruction. This is for teaching library classes, doing presentations elsewhere, and it can be a complicated report, and I didn't want to throw everything onto the dashboard, so I threw a few things on, but I also, you can upload the file so somebody can direct download it if they want the full report, and again, there's like nothing sensitive in there, so, and it's not like if they make changes to that document, it's going to make a big deal because it's just a copy. We have the original. So that's a nice option too, is you can upload the files right on there, whether people are sharing it back and forth or they just really want to take the time to dig into our report, they can. So that's nice. So if there's something that doesn't quite work on display for the dashboard, you can still share it.
Or if there's, we have a few faculty librarians that enjoy statistics, and so they're able to download that Excel table and manipulate the data in ways they would like.
Nice.
Just showing you some more that Emily's put up there.
Just the different ways you can do the charts. Yep. All right. I guess we can move on if there's no more questions.
Yeah, good. Yep.
Okay. So where we are currently, we are now able to get all that data, organize it, go to one place to find what we need to create our reports, and it's been really nice. So a report that might have taken me hours, now I can do in 30 minutes or less, just getting the statistics. Of course, the part I would have to write will take a little longer, but just being able to go to one place, find what I need right away, pull what I need, and then I move on. Been a huge time saver. And within the department, it's helped the library, I think, to see how all of our different departments actually work together. We've talked about putting some of the budget stuff up there, which would be private only for the library, but being able to pull the information instead of me having to go to acquisitions and then to reference and then to collection, I have it all together in one place now. Everyone in the library is also able to do that. Transparency is good, so that's helped with that. And then for the wider, our campus community, this link has gone out, and we have statistics about how many hits. We don't know where they're coming from, but I've got good feedback from others outside of the library, how much they appreciate it. In fact, the UNO has decided they need their own dashboard. They haven't copied like we have. Theirs is much more in-depth. Theirs is, I think they bought some software too, but the idea of a dashboard and one place for anybody that wants to go to and find the information has caught on. So we were happy to see that. The Chancellor gave us some kudos, and that's always nice. And there's some examples of what the wider community, how we've used the dashboard. It's come in handy for accreditation. When the subject specialists have had to help the departments get their accreditations, it was really easy for them to find those statistics. So what? So what? Why a dashboard? Why is this a good idea? Why might you be interested? Well, these are some of the questions that you might have being posed to you. And we're saying that this dashboard is really helpful if you have any of these needs. It's really been good to be able to present to, if you're a public library, you might want to show it to your library board. For us, we've been able to show it outside of the library and inside. And again, visually, the data makes a lot more sense than just throwing a bunch of numbers up there. And I think that's the end. Do you have any more?
I do have one thing to add. It's something I always forget to mention. It doesn't, once the dashboard was set up, once I figured out how I wanted to arrange things, how I wanted to organize the spreadsheets, I about update around once a month, and usually if it's, and I do the majority of the updating, but now more people are starting to come in and do the updating themselves, but it comes down to just at the start of the next month, only about half a day if I'm getting interrupted. If, you know, I can just put on my headphones and not be interrupted by the phone or somebody coming up with a question, I can get through it in 2 to 3 hours, and that's not even like rushing it, it's just chugging along. And then usually I go back and just make sure things are working right, and just kind of being like, oh, well, maybe I want to display something differently this time, and then I experiment with that. But even if you're like the sole person doing it, and we have a lot of statistics to track, it's actually pretty easy to do. It's not an extra load on me whatsoever. I think that was the only thing, getting other people on board on updating, thinking, oh, this is going to be this huge thing, and it's not. It's just grabbing those statistics from, say, SiteScripter or Iliad, and then just putting them into the spreadsheet. And a lot of times, you can already download them into an Excel spreadsheet, so then I might just copy and paste into a Google Doc, throw up the chart, and then throw it onto the dashboard. So it's really not that bad.
I think that's an important point to make, too. It wasn't, when we started looking at how to build this and what kind of software we might be looking at, it was really important, at least from my point of view. Emily won't be here forever, I know that, well, and no one ever is. So you need to be able to, that was the scalability part. If people come and go as they will, whatever we chose needed to be able, others needed to be able to learn it quickly and step into it without too much hassle. If we would have gone with a proprietary, expensive software, usually that entails a huge learning curve, where the Google Sites, Google Docs does not. So that was an important piece to consider. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, if anybody has any questions, anything else you want to have them show, any questions you had about any of these stats they were showing, feel free to type it into your questions section of your GoToWebinar interface. Yeah, as I was looking at all that, that is a very slick interface. Yeah, especially this is the thing. I mean, it does take some work, like a lot of things, to get the numbers in there. But then, as you see what comes out of it with all of the charts and graphs and the things that you can see it visually,
right?
That just, I think, makes it worth it all. Totally. Some people, right, they, you know, this is the thing they always tell you when you're talking to your stakeholders. If it's your administration, if it's your library board, if it's the mayor, the dean, whoever, sticking in those graphs and pie charts and things that catch their eye is what gets their attention. Definitely.
Right. Yeah. Yep, that's they like the hard numbers, and I guess that part of that may be if you have anecdotal information for them, then they have to sort through, well, okay, that's just one person's opinion, but the hard numbers are harder to argue with.
Yeah, you can't argue with. We had this many people do this many things.
Right. Right.
We do have a comment from a librarian saying, very nice interface for free. We use SpringShare's Lib Analytics, but that comes with a fee. And they hope you maybe plan to publish it in an article somewhere. I don't know if you want to take that.
Thank you. Yeah, We have Spring Share also, and so we're
Okay.
familiar with that. And yes, we do plan on that. We have submitted the same presentation with a few different changes to Brick and Click in
Cool.
October, and then to ACRL, which will be in March in Indianapolis, and usually is a publication that comes out of that. But
Right.
thank
I
you
know
for the
Brick and
compliment.
yeah. I know Brick and Click does their
Yes,
collecting
it's
of
there.
their presentations of all. Yeah.
Right, that'll
Their
be,
documenting.
so, yeah, that will be in the proceedings. We just sent that out the
Right.
first part of this month, so it'll be published in Brick and Click's proceedings and then CNRL News, most likely.
Great.
That's the next step. And we'll continue to develop along the way. The infographics is something that I think we both are getting more interested in and see the potential there of really making it it makes the data come alive, I think maybe is a good way to say it.
You see that being used on news sites and things all the
Yes.
time. They take it and they
Yeah.
make it something that just short bursts of info and then made into something that like a picture, something that's
Right.
more a picture of a person talking about the people that came in and whatever.
Yeah.
And it makes a difference. Yeah.
And fairly easy to do. I wouldn't consider myself overly technology smart at all, but so I guess what I'm saying is if I can do it, pretty much anybody can. Emily, however, is a different story. She's pretty savvy.
And libraries are keeping these statistics anyway, have always been tracking this kind of thing
Yes.
anyhow. I mean, it's what you need to do to know what you're doing and to just, for some, just giving the numbers to your, funders saying, yes, we're doing work and here it is, great. But being able to make it something like this, it's more flashy, really, yeah.
Right. It changes the really boring numbers and tables into something that is almost entertainment and yeah, and I know public libraries have done a better job than academics with their demonstration of value. Public libraries have been doing that ROI, the return on investment, for quite a while. Academics now are really feeling that push, and the ACRL, the National Association for College and Research Libraries, has a huge push on demonstrating our values. So we may be late to the party, but we really are jumping in and feeling that from all angles, including the national conversation about what is the value from going to college? Why am I spending all my money? What do I get? The library now, with these statistics that you're right, Krista, we've always had them, but to be able to present them in a different way directly to, because the library spends X amount on these databases, then students are able to do Y, or faculty find our research help, which got them a multi-million-dollar grant from the Science Foundation. So if we're able to tie into that better, then we're able to show our value, and that's kind of where we're really spending a lot of time on that right now.
We did have one actual question that I kind of missed up above here. Catherine was wondering if Google Sites is your library site too, but no, the website for the library itself is different. Is that what you meant, Catherine, about the library's website?
Right. No, the library's website is a totally different. It's actually tied to our IT department here on campus. So the Google site is one that Emily created with our own login.
Right. Yeah, I just looked for it here. You guys, library.unomaha.edu is actually the library's webpage, which is different from what the Google Sites is, which is just for you guys in the library doing all your statistics.
It's just the dashboard, right?
And that just gives us more freedom and more control. You don't have to have someone else update it for you and ask permission every time you need to correct something or edit something. And then it's also gives you that flexibility to let other people come in on the dashboard as editors, and you can kind of just cart it around with you to presentations. If you wanted to create your own page, say you're going to a conference and you want to make your own dashboard page, you can do that.
it's nice having it stored in the cloud, that good old the good old cloud thing again, so we can pull this up anywhere we are. We don't have to carry a flash drive around with this. It's available, and the updating in real time, that data changes daily, so we're able to keep up with that also.
Right, right. Okay, anybody else have any other questions, comments, anything else they want to see in the Google Sites that they're using at UNO?
And if you have questions down the road, please call or email me, even if it's I can't find this function or I don't know where they hid this on the menu. I can definitely troubleshoot.
More than happy to help other people set this up for themselves.
Mm-hmm. You're going to be known as the expert now.
Okay.
Google should pay me.
You want us out.
Well, it doesn't look like anything urgent is coming in right now.
Okay.
So that's cool. But yeah, there is their contact information there. And as we said, the slides, if you guys will email me these slides, we'll get them up with a recording as well, so people have that for reference. All the links are in the Library Commission's Delicious account, which is basically the Google Sites and that Infogram site. Are in there, so everyone can have access to that there when the recording is up. I am going to take back control here now. So, actually go over here. So, thank you very much, Joyce and Emily. Let me get my screen up.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
This is, yeah, like I said, this is very interesting. You know, some people's statistics are they just run away in fear, or aren't really sure what the heck they're going to do with it and how they can use it. This really makes it look, like you said, even fun to try and manipulate it and get it to do the different things you want it to do and have it look those charts and bar graphs and pie charts and everything. So, like I said, very slick. I want to take a look at it myself just to see what kind of things I can play with it.
I wanted to just say thanks for everybody, to the people that listened and tuned in. We appreciate it, and feel free to contact us with even suggestions. Always open to that too.
Yeah, see how other people maybe are using it. Nobody who was here today mentioned that, but there probably are other libraries out there. Okay, well, thank you very much. And that will wrap us up for today, for today's NCompass Live. But I hope you will join us next week when we have our monthly Tech Talk with Michael Sowers. Michael is the Technology Innovation Librarian here at the Nebraska Library Commission, and once a month he does a session on tech. Anything new that has come up in the last month, news stories, whatever, technology related. And he does also sometimes guests. And this week, this month, he is doing an interview with Andrew Bloom, the author of Tubes, A Journey to the Center of the Internet. So if you want to hear more about that and see what Andrew has to say, join Michael next Wednesday for our NCompass Live. So that's it for today. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.